And welcome to NAFDAC and Your Health, that program where you get to know about the relentless efforts of NAFDAC to ensure that only wholesome food products, standard and quality drugs, and other regulated products under the agency's control are made available to the Nigerian public. My name is Amanda Ugo. Today's edition of NAFDAC and Your Health begins by focusing on food additives, enlightening us about the risks that arise if the additives are excessively consumed, even as they are taste enhancers to our foods. And then we'll go on to bring you updates of the activities of the agency's state offices and zones. Food additives are substances added to the food we eat to enhance the taste, the appearance, or to preserve it. Additives are of various kinds, with each of them adding to the endearments that make us desire to eat the food and, of course, the satisfaction we derive from eating the food. Additives could also improve food safety, improve or preserve the nutrient value, increase storage time, and maintain the wholesomeness of foods. However, as beneficial as these additives could be to the different kinds of food we relish and to our bodies, we also have to apply caution as we add them to our food and be cautious of consuming them in excess of the level the body needs, because the additives could as well endanger our lives, particularly if they are not added in moderate proportions.
I put a lot of emphasis on food, because we take food daily throughout life. When I was younger, I wasn't that concerned too much about salt, although I don't like anything too salty. In fact, when I was younger, I don't like anything sugar too much, because it was affecting me. I was always having very heavy menstrual period, or very tough menstrual period. And the doctor says, reduce your sugar. So we have to eat or have this food that we eat with little or no salt or very little sugar. Sugar is one of the problems in the world. There's nothing wrong with sugar. It is making sure you don't take it too much. Salt, there's nothing wrong. It is making sure you don't take it too much. Because when you take in sugar, it also attracts water from the body. And before you know it, you may be building pressure in your blood vessels. Because the more water that is being attracted to the sugar, to the salt, the more pressure is being built. It's like you are getting too much fluid going through a pipe. So there are some things, some ailments that we can avoid, or we can reduce the effect of them. The same thing with sugar. Sugar can make people hyperactive, can make children hyperactive. And if for children, they can easily burn it. You know, even for children, you have to reduce. For example, the baby food and whatnot. What is the level of sugar in them? Fructose. That is part of why I take food as medicine. I see food as medicine, because they can make me better on the short run or on the long run. You know. Another additive is monosodium glutamate. What we find in our flavors, you know, whether it is Knorr or Maggi or whatever, you know, we have to take it reasonably, because they also have sugar, salt, and when they attract water, they may cause blood pressure increasing and whatnot. When you take dyes or azo dyes in through palm oil, there's a problem. It cannot be absorbed. It cannot be eliminated easily. It can clog the kidneys. And it's not just food contaminant, drug also, you know. If you have bad medicine, substandard falsified medicines, things that were added that are not supposed to, or medicines at the level that they're not supposed to. Can cause antimicrobial resistance if they are antibiotics. It can cause morbidity. It can make the case worse.
The premium placed on food safety by NAFDAC makes NAFDAC under Professor Mojusola Ade's leadership to hold stakeholders' engagements with those in the food manufacturing, distribution, and marketing sector on a regular basis to ensure the right food are manufactured and made available to the public for purchase. Mrs. Eva Edwards, the Director of Food Safety and Applied Nutrition Directorate, also speaks about the need to eat wholesome and safe food as well as the need to have the right education and information as regards food safety.
There are statistics from the WHO global estimates on the global estimates of the burden of foodborne diseases, and from that statistics we are told that it's reported that about 1 in 10 people globally suffer from contaminated food, and about 420,000 of these people actually die, and that it is disproportionately affecting vulnerable populations, this, especially our under fives, and this is something that needs to be given real serious attention. If we bring that home to Nigeria, sadly we don't have accurate data that we can rely on, but it is also reported that about 200,000 people every year have one form of foodborne illness or the other. And so this is an opportunity to put the word out there, send out the message on food safety, anchoring on the WHO's 5 keys to food safety. Every individual is responsible for themselves, right? Ultimately. And so that is why the information is critical, the education is critical, right? So because if you do not know what to do, then you just don't know. You know, you can't really blame people who do things out of ignorance. If they don't know, they don't know. They don't set out to do these things to kill people or to cause people ill health. So a lot of the attention then needs to be focused on getting people to do those right things. And that's the whole essence of what we talk about, transforming food systems. Because the reason why you are doing that is to ensure that those food systems can deliver foods that are safe, of good quality, that give you healthy diets, which turn into good nutrition, and at the end of the day, that leads to better health.
According to the EFSAN director, these and many other food-related issues are the reasons the agency advances her food safety campaign by joining the rest of the world in commemorating Food Safety Day on the 7th of June every year.
And this is a day that has been set aside from a United Nations General Assembly resolution. They adopted a resolution in December 2018 to set aside this day every year, the 7th of June, as World Food Safety Day. And the focus is generally to draw global attention to issues around food safety and projecting these issues as issues of public health significance. And so generally it's to create awareness and to make sure that the topic stays on the front burner every year on the 7th of June. And naturally, I mean, beyond the 7th of June, we're supposed to also take positive actions to ensure that food safety is given the adequate attention that it deserves as an important public health issue.
You have been watching NAFDAC and Your Health. The program continues after the break.
As part of NAFDAC concerted effort to prevent incessant food poisoning and to safeguard the health of the nation, the agency wishes to advise the general public to take the following precautionary measures in food handling. Chemicals are not food, so do not taste with your tongue. It is dangerous to health and it can kill. It is dangerous to cook your meat with paracetamol or any drug. It can damage your liver, kidneys, or other organs. Do not ripen your fruits with calcium carbide. It can cause cancer or damage the kidneys or liver. It is dangerous to use sniper to keep insects and other flies away from any food products. Cooking does not remove sniper. Do not consume any mixture or herbal preparation that do not have NAFDAC number. It could be deadly. Too much monosodium glutamate food seasoning that comes as cube or in sachet can be dangerous to your health. Do not add any chemical to food or drink to make it sour or improve taste. Safe food. Everyone's business. NAFDAC. Safeguarding the health of the nation.
Welcome back. You are still watching NAFDAC and Your Health.
And now, moving on to NAFDAC news updates. The Director, Southwest Zone of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Mrs. Rosalind Ajayi, has advised Nigerians to be sensitive and pay attention to details of drugs they purchase for use. Mrs. Rosalind Ajayi gave the advice at a one-day sensitization campaign with healthcare providers on the roles of effective risk communication on consumer exposure to substandard and falsified medicine in Nigeria, held at the Ibadan Business School recently. Speaking on behalf of the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, Mrs. Rosalind Ajayi said the sensitization campaign became imperative on healthcare providers and stakeholders to admonish users of fake and substandard products, particularly drugs. The Southwest Zonal Director went on to enumerate the strategies employed by NAFDAC in curbing fake and substandard regulated products. This includes product registration, which is mandatory for any product before it can be certified okay for public use. She also mentioned documentation, facility inspection, and laboratory evaluation as part of the processes. She said NAFDAC is aware that most manufacturers deviate from the standard and criteria under which they get registered after being registered, and this is why the agency carries out post-market surveillance to randomly sample products to know their wholesomeness and to ensure that they are not falsified. She added that the issue of fake and substandard products is an issue of global concern, and it is the responsibility of each country to adopt strategies to curb the menace. And this is the obligation NAFDAC is fulfilling to the Nigerian public. Speaking further through the Southwest Zonal Director, Mrs. Ajayi, the NAFDAC DG said one of the strategies the agency has been using and will intensify is aggressive sensitization and engagement of different stakeholders, particularly those who are into the distribution of healthcare products like medicine. In conclusion, the NAFDAC DG said she believed that the efforts will yield positive results as the agency continues to join hands with stakeholders to pursue the eradication of substandard and falsified medicinal products in Nigeria. In the same vein, sensitization and awareness campaigns also took place in Plateau State, North Central Zone, and in Enugu State, Southeast Zone, Rivers State in the South-South Zone, and Kaduna in the Northwest Zone. Similarly, sensitization equally took place in Karu, Nasarawa State in the North Central Zone.
What we want to achieve is that we have a healthy nation. Because if you don't have a good health care, you are in big trouble. And even if you have very sound personnel for health, and then at the end of the day, drugs are not good, then you are doing nothing. So doctors, best of nurses, pharmacists, and lab scientists, medical lab scientists. But as far as at the end, they will need drugs. And then the drugs that are given to them are not of good quality. You don't know what. So our own is to make sure that we ensure that products that get to patients from where they are manufactured to where they are used are of good quality, effective, and safe.
The sensitization provided the avenue for the participants to rub minds and seek more clarifications from NAFDAC. They also promised to work together with NAFDAC to ensure the safety and well-being of the nation. In Port Harcourt, South-South Zone, NAFDAC also organized sensitization and campaign against fake, substandard and falsified regulated products, gathering stakeholders and the press, who, apart from getting enlightened and informed, can also cascade and disseminate the information and safeguard measures to the public. The Port Harcourt sensitization brought together representatives of the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, amongst other stakeholders. One of the key points raised was the need for stiffer penalties for offenders, as current legislation allows for an option of 1 million naira fine or imprisonment.
Most of these things happen because of our laws. There is no stringent penalty for offenders of counterfeit or fake products. Now, how can you factor a scenario where a counterfeiter brings in a container of unregistered or a counterfeit medicine and is apprehended, he's arrested, charged to court, and for those maybe running into millions of naira of that container, the penalty at the end of the day in court might be just a chicken fee.
The South-South Zonal Director, Mr. Chukuma Oligbo, also spoke about his agency's efforts to curb circulation of substandard and unregistered products.
Earlier on, we have some companies that do not exist who want to make submissions for registration of their product. But for any product to be registered now, we ensure that the facilities are inspected and they are compliant with the WHO pre-qualification before they are registered. We have inspectors from Nigeria who visit the facility. That's for the foreign inspection. Locally, we do inspections of the local manufacturers too, as a way of stepping down all facility manufacturers, local manufacturers, and ensure compliance.
NAFDAC investigation and enforcement officers acting on intelligence carried out raid operations at Benue Plaza, trade fair complex in Benue State and in Lagos. After thorough surveillance, it was discovered that there were illegal activities of production of various counterfeit cosmetic products in some locations which were being distributed and sold in the open markets. Sequel to the discovery, a team of investigation and enforcement officers visited the identified locations at Benue Plaza's upstairs corridors. Also, various items for illegal production such as mini-mixing containers, various kinds of unlabeled chemicals, packaging materials like caps, bottles and empty cartons were found. Batch coding materials and thinner were also discovered among other discoveries. Apart from these, many expired products being revalidated were also found. In all, over 1,200 cartons of revalidated and finished fake cosmetics products were evacuated from the location. All the items found were evacuated to NAFDAC office. The street value of the items evacuated is estimated to be 50 million naira. NAFDAC has therefore appealed to members of the public to be vigilant and exercise caution when purchasing cosmetic products. They should also periodically verify supply source and report suspicious activities to the nearest NAFDAC office. That was NAFDAC Update. You have been updated.
This is where we draw the curtains on this edition of the program. We shall be back again, same time, same station next week with another detailed package. If you have any information that could lead to nipping the activities of peddlers of unwholesome food products, drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment in the bud, please do not hesitate to reach out to NAFDAC.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Remember that it is illegal to produce, import, distribute, market, advertise, or sell unwholesome food products, fake drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment. These acts pose great threats to the health of Nigerians. Till we meet again next week, stay safe.